Hello and welcome back, it's Repulsive Raccoon, aka your favorite trash panda, once again playing Reincarnation Insurance Program. The game came out with a brand new update just a few days ago, bringing the Void Spire to the game. This is just a tower mode with, increasing difficulties all the way up to 100, and I wanted to give it a go. We are going to be using a really heavy chase-themed build, and we're just going to get started on the run. If you find yourself enjoying today's content, hit that like and subscribe button. Okay, Bloody Causeway. Eliminate the required amount of enemies within the time limit. And yeah, I'll showcase our build at the end of it, but it is insane. As you can kind of see, we're shooting a lot of ice shards. And I mean an excessive amount of ice shards. But we are going with just a kind of a chase-themed build. We also have a little robot dude helping us out, which is kind of nice. There's 100 floors to this, which is actually kind of mental. Because I have no idea how hard these things will actually get. We have 3 minutes to clear this one out. It's not going to be an issue whatsoever. And then hopefully we just keep going to the next floor immediately. Where we don't have to, sit there and go, oh, what are we doing next? We got a threat swarm? Okay. It's kind of funny that I can just kind of spawn camp the enemies. We only have 700 to kill. Should get this done in the next minute or so. But yeah, this seems pretty interesting. Along with the new update, they added like 40 new Mythic items, which I'm actually currently using a few of the brand new ones. So I'll make sure to showcase that. If you look at our healing is kind of absurd, if you ask me. If we can't even take damage because of how much shield I'm generating, I also have infinite ammo. I never have to reload with this build. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. Alright, just a few left. There we go. Talk to Sona to choose your next action. Okay, let's see what we got from the chest. Give us something good. Alright, we got some... Okay, we got 3 legendaries for it. I can't complain. Okay, operation successful. Choose your next action. Upgrade tech next mission to return. Upgrade divine tech. What does this do? Increase weapon damage. Bullets inflict burn. Bullets hitting frozen enemies are returned. We get an extra stat bonus. Because I already have all these perks. So does that mean we can take stuff outside of it? Because if that's the case, that's actually kind of insane. Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, I can take other things. There's a chance to release ice fragments on hit, and there's kind of levels to this. If I take something like Rocket Salvo, do I then get it? That's the question, or is it just increasing the base set bonus? Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's just upgrade our ice blades in the process then. And enter the next layer. So we took a Rocket Salvo, so does that put it on our build with us? Like on our chase build? Doesn't look like it, so I don't know if it'll just randomly proc or not. Activate and defend the beacon. Yeah, okay, so we didn't get Rocket Salvo. So it doesn't give you a perk that you don't have. So you want to be upgrading the stuff that you already kind of have on your build. So upgrading like something like Ice Blade, yeah. So we got Ice Blade. Okay, and yeah, our damage has gone up by 2% on it. Okay, so that's how it works. That was a cute shield that enemy had. So Ice Blade is definitely going to be the thing we're probably going to upgrade the most, along with probably tracking spikes. Now, there's probably going to be some really cool synergies Like, if we upgrade Frost Module to give me more of a shield recharge, I can probably just stack up a super, super beefy shield. At least as of right now, we're just going to pack more damage. There's one of the beacons. So these floors are kind of like just random objectives from killing enemies to defending certain points. Which honestly I like. I don't like it when it's the same thing over and over again. If it was just, you know, kill 700 enemies every single floor, that would be kind of sad if you asked me. So at least there's a little bit of variety. One of the best things about the build we got currently going on is whenever we apply chill, we actually apply burn, and whenever we apply burn, we actually apply chill. It is a legendary fusion tech we got from the gunsmith, and honestly insane. The only thing that could really make this build better is I have a lot of ice blades on my actual build right now. Taking a look at it real fast, our helmet has ice blades, our chip has ice blades, our ring has ice blades, and our helmet has ice blades. If one of those was like Flame Tongue, for example, that'd be just a little bit better. Okay, upgrade Divine Tech. Yeah, so our shield ratio would go up. Okay, let's take a look at what we actually have. So we got Ice Blade, we got Rifling Module. I wonder what changes about that. And the same thing, we have the extra projectiles. So let's go over to the corrosive tree. Are we able to do anything? Yeah, okay, that tech can't be upgraded. Honestly understandable. Bullet damage multiplier. Ooh. Don't really care about that. What about tracking spikes? Base stat bonus upgrade. Makes sense. Inferno, I imagine the same way. We can get a fire rate bonus from here. It's the plague spread, just damage bonus. Honestly, the shield upgrade's probably going to be one of the better ones. And then just getting damage upgrade on our tracking spikes. Let's just get more shield bonus, though. Alright, let's go to the next layer. So now we have a 3% chance for it. If I'm understanding that correctly. Yeah, shield ratio is now at 3%. Start vehicle. Escort the convoy. Unfortunately, I didn't pay attention to what was actually doing the most damage on my run when I was doing this. So hopefully we end up upgrading the right things. This vehicle is actually going by pretty fast. This might just be a me thing, but in a lot of escort missions in games, it's always like you're kind of just dragging and just slowly coming to a halt. And then you get stopped by like a barricade, you then have to do something with it. Hopefully there's no barricades and this is just one solid go through, but I've never been a super big fan of the escort missions in games. There's an elite kind of stuck behind the wall there, but hey, that's one less guy I gotta deal with. We're probably going to use most of our upgrades on our buffs, in all honesty. Something like Giant Killer is probably going to be insane. We're just upgrading our chase damage bonus. Yeah, so we're probably going to go and upgrade all our passives over just, you know, our actual attacks themselves. Because why upgrade Ice Blades to do a little bit more damage if I can just upgrade all my chases to do more damage? Come on, car, you're almost there. And pretty fast. I'm pretty sure the other thing with the tower mode is every 5 levels is a boss, which is going to be super cool. I should probably... did I bug it out? There we go. Okay, I was just too close to the chest when it spawned in. So if we look here and go to corrosive, where's our buff at? Chase damage up by 1. Yeah, we're just gonna do this a bunch of times. And then that should have increased it. Yeah, it's just by 3%, but hey, you know, that's better than nothing. Considering that these passive effects are already, like, insanely strong, I'm not surprised it's that low. There we go. Eliminate the required amount of enemies again. Kind of interested to see how fast we can actually kill the boss. Like, how much damage we are doing. Our gear isn't the best. The other thing that I would want is damage to frozen enemies on, like, my chest piece and my gloves. Thankfully, it's not the end of the world. We have 25% bonus damage against elites and bosses, which is, you know, permanently activated. We don't have to worry about them being frozen or not. But I'm applying so many stacks of chilled that everything, the moment I hit it, should just be frozen. And if it comes out of freeze, it will just get frozen again. Because everything, like our bullets as well, apply 1 stack of chill, but I also have frozen shots. So yeah, it's actually insane how crazy this is. Thankfully, this one's an arena, so I can actually kill all these enemies just way faster. Oh no, a threat swarm. Whatever shall I do? I actually had to reload because I can't keep freezing enemies at the rate I'm killing them. And there we go. Maybe something good. Got our first mythic. Upgrade divine tech. I bet we can just keep getting a higher and higher shield bonus is kind of nutty, but let's see. What do we want? I think we're just going to go with more chase damage. Got it at 7% now. All right. We're at Venom Purge. Our first boss fight, and let's see how... Oh, it's dying at a pretty decent rate. And there we go. End up getting a pack for it as well. What is this? Projectile Bloom? Projectile Boom Bloom. Chase area. Crit chance plus 5. Crit damage plus 50%. Actually insane. Crit damage 50%. We're not going to use it just because we do have that bonus projectiles, but that is absolutely insane. We're just going to get this to level 10. We're going to return to HQ just really fast just so I can get rid of all the stuff in our inventory. That way we can actually open more chests. And we'll just dismantle everything else. I need this made way more than I need credits. We need the essence just by a lot. I'm re-rolling items at such an insane rate that most of the time I can only do 1 re-roll at a time. And we are already on floor 6. I wonder how much harder the floors actually get from one another, because we didn't insta-kill the boss. We actually killed that at about the same rate as we would a Risk 6 boss, which is kind of crazy to say. But at the same time, if that's just the first boss, I wonder how much more HP that all the enemies are going to get. It also might be the case of you have to swap between multiple different gear sets, right? So we might get to the point of having to put on normal damage enemies just to clear this at a faster rate. And then when we know it's bosses, swap back to our boss gear, etc., etc. So I imagine you're gonna have to do a lot of different things. This is also just one version of our chase build that we're currently using. I have another one with like maxed out like rocket salvo, which I imagine is also pretty strong. I just like this one a lot just because it's just a fire and ice kind of theme to it. I wonder... Oh yeah, because this is consistent across the board. So if I keep upgrading this, like, chase, for example, my other build will have it as long as I have this perk. So that's why, like, me upgrading Rocket Salvo here, it still increases the damage of the other set. So you definitely want to be upgrading things that are kind of consistent across the, like, all your different builds. That way you just don't have to worry about it. Giant Killer, elites and bosses. Not going to worry about that. Success rate, 30%. So it goes down once it's at 10, it looks like. Bonus damage based on status effects. Well, we're always going to be doing that, so we'll go with that one. So I probably should go with the boss one first, because I do know the boss one is on all my builds, though Frost is not necessarily on all my builds. Frost should be, though. Frost is absolutely so insane with Chase. Just when you get that Mythic perk where it reloads bullets for you, it's just disgusting. It is so insanely disgusting. Also, at the end of the video, I'll kind of talk about how to make the builds for this, because there is some really cheeky things you can do in order to get just really insane builds like this going. But I am a big fan of this update already, just because it's gonna allow you to actually, you know, push builds to the absolute max. Where before you had risk 6, and while it was difficult, once you actually started understanding the game and even having a semi-decent build going, you just steamroll it. So if, you know, floor like 50 up is like super difficult and not every build can do, you can actually truly test which builds are gonna be the most meta, I guess you could put it. I'll just turn on the auto aim. This build is definitely meant to be kind of like a shotgun build. Like if I just stand on top of the enemy so all my projectiles hit it, yeah. Because all these chases are triggering just off of just a few bullets hitting the enemies. There we go. Floor 7 cleared. Having a home run is such a huge bonus too. The perk that kind of reflects those projectiles. Yeah, let's take this, the boss one. Where'd it go? There we go, Giant Killer. We might as well upgrade everything with that is guaranteed to upgrade before we take a 30% chance, because why would we take a 30% chance just for it to fail? I mean, just look at all the ice shards. I wonder if you can repeat a floor in order to get the chest again, because that'd be a super easy way to farm legendaries and even some get mythics. Is like, for example, if on this floor where it's just escorting the vehicle, just doing this over and over again if you can keep getting the chest from it. I'll have to end up trying that out at a later time. Alright, car, we're almost there. Don't stop now. Gotta remember that enemies do spawn behind this thing. It looks like it might be the same kind of repeating pattern for the floors. So it looks like one of them might be, you know, kill 700 enemies. One of them is going to be escorting. One of them is going to be those beacons. I imagine after this one, we're probably going to have to do a beacon one and probably then, you know, killing 700 more enemies. Why'd you start slowing down? You're making such good progress at first. Might have just been because of the enemies. Alright, we gotta run all the way out of this chest. We're getting a lot of legendaries, which is actually insane. Next layer it is. Now arriving at Death Arena. "700 enemies. Large hordes of corrupted." Well, it's a good thing our specialty is dealing with hordes of enemies. I also realized I probably should change my talent tree on my character, because my talent tree is currently set up to leveling. So we'll do that before we actually take on the rank 10 boss, which is already showing you kind of how disgusting this build is. The fact that my talent tree is actually not spec'd the correct way whatsoever for this. But the nice thing is that these only take a minute or two to clear. I feel like lightning will probably be insane for this, just because it already has insane tactical damage. Like, it's absolutely disgusting how much tactical damage does in this game. And then just having lightning with all the chaining going on will probably make this super easy to do. We're going to have to put together one of those builds. Hopefully the builds are different per character, where I'm not fighting over the same 6 slots on all my characters. Because I like to try new things out, so hopefully we are able to do that. Also, these enemies actually do a decent amount of damage. I mean, we got hit for like 60 or so. Alright, come on. Spawn in. Not the elites. Spawn in the normal guys. There we go. And we have another victory. Okay, so let's upgrade this twice. Success rate 90, so why is this one? Okay, so it goes down by 1. Let's upgrade it again. Okay. Let's get our chest, respec, and then fight the boss. What is all in? I don't think I've seen this one before. Magazine. Oh, this is for the shotgun. Yeah, I have seen that one before. Let's return the HQ real fast. The shotgun that permanently makes it so its magazine is 1 or fixes it at 1 is absolutely insane. Because, yeah, psionics is also extremely strong in this game. That's probably one of my favorite things about this game, is just the ability to play a lot of different things. We're going to see if we can actually re-roll one of these chase ones. And let's see if we can get fire on it. Oh, still more ice shards. Chain lightning, nope. Rocket volley, nope. Nope, and we didn't get it. I was just trying to be a little bit cheeky, see if we could get some more flame tongue going. But this is what I mean, is that my build was entirely spec'd out for the level tree. I'll explain that at the end of the video, but we're just going to upgrade all our chase. Don't really need luck. Let's get that fire rate. We also don't really care about magazine. So let's go here. Let's go 3 here. Let's go 1 there. Let's grab this. Let's grab all this crit chance. Chase damage, crit chance. Let's grab that. Chase area, we definitely want to max out. Weapon range. I'll take that for now. Just get fire rate. Weapon damage. Reloading. Reload speed. We don't care about either 2 of those. I guess I'll just go with more magazine. Crit chance while moving. Weapon fire rate. More HP against weak enemies. More weapon damage. And we can either get throw. Let's just go for this just because they damage to elites and bosses. Alright, this is going to be what our current skill tree looks like for this floor 10 boss. Tech upgrades 5. So does it... I wonder if it goes up. Like if I just go up here, yeah, we end up getting 6. Okay. And let's see floor 10. I think it shows us the enemy outline. Okay, we're fighting the Sandstorm Lord, and so that's what happens when we actually spec into the right things. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let's get more tracking spikes. And let's go into the next layer. Absolutely destroying these bosses at the speed of light. I don't even think I have chase area from Inferno maxed out, or if I even took it at all on this specific build. But it makes Flame Tongue shoot, like, off your screen. But just how big of an area it is, it's actually kind of insane. It's the only reason I like Rocket Salvo so much is I just feel like you just clear out just hordes and hordes of enemies just super easily. But yeah, it makes absolutely no sense upgrading your kind of skills, I would say. I would imagine the same is going to be true for tactical and the same for psionics. It just upgrades your passives that like increase those things. So if you have a passive that increases psionics damage, well, just take that because it's the same percentage rate of upgrading the actual ability itself, but it applies to all of them. So I don't know if that's a little bit of an oversight or not, but it would be kind of cool to see maybe if it's just double the rate on your actual weapon. So for example, with what I'm going for now, like every time I upgrade an Ice Blade, it goes up by 2% instead of 1. That way it's like, oh, if I want to focus on just sending Ice Blades to the max, I could do that instead of having to worry about, you know, being the most necessarily efficient. Because at the current rate, just it being the 1-to-1 is just, it's okay. Let's roll out of that. I might actually upgrade more of my shield ratio. I imagine poison would be really strong here. Like, if we got, like, level 10 corrosive aura, just to cover the entire screen. And then if we got the gunsmith perk whenever we deal poison, we shield ourselves. We got 5 upgrades now. I'll also take a fire rate bonus, which is insane as well. Do we do that? I think we do. I think we just take some fire rate bonus. We get just 5% there. And we got 12%. Okay. I need to take a look at this. So we're at 81.9 right now from it. Because I wonder if the 5% is adding more than 5%. Because for some reason, I could be misremembering, but for some reason, I thought the fire rate went to like 75, for example. In which case, it should only be an 80% upgrade, but not looking to be the case. But once again, there's so many numbers in this game, it's hard to remember exactly what everything does at max level. It's also kind of crazy that we only have 2 purple perks on this entire build, one of them being our Flame Tongue, which is unfortunate. It never got upgraded to Legendary. That's okay. The other one is just Corrosive Mastery, which is, it's okay. Would have gotten more damage on our tracking spikes, but not the end of the world by any means. Would have only, it's like a 7 or 8% damage increase. So it looks like the vehicle just kind of naturally goes slow here. Come on, you're almost there. Push! 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 Okay, I was in the radius. Divine Tech. Alright. 85.8. Yeah, so it's kind of, we were just at 81.9, so we got 4% for it. What? It's kind of messed up. Which leads me to believe, I wonder if it's 10%, like it says plus 10%, but I wonder if it's off the actual percentage of the fire rate. I need to keep that in mind. So for example, if the status vulnerability, if I take 1% there, it would just go to 121. So I'll just upgrade that next to see what happens. This build is nowhere near perfect by any means, but still super fun. One of the things I wish is because when you're doing a run, you can really only get like 3 tech trees. At least that's what you end up getting locked to eventually. If that wasn't the case, oh, it'd be so insane. I wish I could get Rocket Salvo on this build, but unfortunately I cannot. And it's the same for my Rocket Salvo build, is I was really hoping to get or Frost Corrosive and Explosion. But then I can't get Inferno. And Inferno is really good just for that fire rate bonus, and Flame Tongue does a lot of damage. I think the best version of the Chase build, though, is 100% just going Corrosive, Frost, and Explosion. It just does so much damage. We'll probably showcase it on the next little bit. There's so many damage numbers. I also like how the ice shards, because I'm firing so many, clear the entire up and down of this walkway. So as long as I keep just walking back and forth, it will just clear out everything for us. Okay, so our status vulnerability was at 120. So if I do that, yeah, so it does go up by the right amount. All right, let's get more shield ratio. Let's return to HQ real fast just to look at our rocket salvo build. And hopefully it's not one of the ones I overwrote, because I overwrote a few of them throughout the day as I was trying to just kind of grind out different builds. But let's see if we still have it. This one is with rocket salvo at purple. Yeah, here it is. As you can see, yeah, we had rocket salvo level 10, smart missiles level 10, ice blades only level 5. We did get tracking spikes, though unfortunately we only got it blue. I took it just to actually have it. And I believe we also did get all the mythic perks, though our passives aren't the best. As you can see, some of our passives are purple. So I definitely have to do this build over again just to see if I can get the majority of it legendary. If not, at least some of them purples. But let's just try out the rockets. Escort mission is really not going to really showcase anything here. But we'll see how this build does against the boss. And yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of explosions. There's a lot of explosions. The one nice thing about Ice Blade, though, and why it's one of my favorite chases, is just because it has that 40% chance to trigger whenever something hits. That's the only reason why you see so many all the time. Is just because, yeah, it ends up triggering a lot, where everything else has to be a specific amount of hits, or just different proccing chances, like the tracking spikes has its own separate chance. But rocket salvo, I believe, is, yeah, hits required is 4. I also wonder if you can kind of redo these upgrades at the end of these kind of floors. Because if I wanted to, like, pivot towards, like, a lightning build or something, I wonder if you can reset it, or if you have to, you know, do floors, like, 1 all over again. Come on, car, keep moving. I know I'm not doing the best job at protecting you. I'm just going to have to spin while on top of the car, and that should hopefully do it. There's a random elite in the distance over there. Alright, get here so I can fight the boss. Thank you. Mythic. Oh. Let's grab our... You know, that's fine. We'll just take care of this first. That way it's out of here. More shields. Let's get that status vulnerability upgrade. Alright. Let's see. We're arriving at Angel Down. Alright. Well, that's the boss. That's the boss killed. And it does look our other build is currently better, but that it could just be due to the amount of blue perks and purple perks. We also don't have all our passives maxed out, which is a super huge loss of damage. I believe this goes up to somewhere close to 80%, which is 30% damage bonus. And our status effect duration on the Frost build, I believe, is close to 500%. So the bosses just stay frozen. And there's a few other ones like this chase damage one. I believe on our other builds, that got 130%, 140%, which is, you know, close to a 100% damage amp for our chase abilities. But that is going to do it for today. Let me just upgrade a few more things. This is our, yeah, affected by status effect. We'll just keep upgrading that. And then I'll kind of showcase, or not necessarily showcase, but explain how to get like really insane builds going. And it's kind of cheeky how you have to do it, but let me go over here. Let me sell my stuff just so I actually have room in my inventory. Alright, so with the gear I currently have, I literally just go with everything with XP bonus on it. So this has XP gained, XP per second. This one has, you know, almost 5% legendary tech chance on it. I have a helmet with 8% legendary tech chance on it, just on the Mythic perk, and then a bunch of tech alterations, a bunch of tech bans, a bunch of tech rerolls. I invest super heavy. I mean, literally my XP tree was fully maxed out. The only ones I would avoid taking are the rare and epic ones, just because, well, you don't want a higher chance of those upgrading. So just kind of upgrade this top path and then everything down here. If you have to take one or two of these, that's perfectly okay. And then I was just doing risk 6 over and over again. And if I didn't get a legendary, I would use a bunch of rerolls to guarantee the legendaries that I actually want. And that was pretty much how I ended up doing it. Because once you end up getting a few perks, like let's say I got Rapid Fire Protocol at legendary, well, all the other ones are going to be legendary. And then, for example, if I got more Inferno, I could take Rapid Fire Protocol at legendary if my other two weren't legendary that I would wanted. So we ended up never getting Flame Tongue at legendary, but there's a few other ones. Another good example is actually the Poison. So we ended up getting, or Corrosive. We ended up getting Tracking Spikes at legendary super early, but every time I got Corrosive, the only thing it was offering us was our Tracking Spikes for legendary, which was good, but the other two would constantly be blue or purple. So I just kept taking this, upgrading it to level 10 until something else came up that I wanted that was legendary. One of the first ones we got was our Chase Amplification, which is insane. And we took that at legendary. That way, when we finished Tracking Spikes, once you get it maxed out at level 10, it will stop appearing in the pool. But then we can kind of keep taking this and while the other ones are blue and purple until another one shows up as legendary. And then I just used my bans to, you know, kind of help get the actual things I wanted. Just because something like Ice Blades, for example, if Frost is the last thing you're investing into, there's a ton of Frost perks. So just banning a lot of the unnecessary ones like Reloading, for example. There's a ton of, you know, Frost related perks with Reloading. But we took Frost modules so I didn't have to reload. That way I could just trigger my chase at a much faster rate. And then the only other thing you want to do is you want to get a decent amount of movement speed and just investigate the map as much as possible. Just because there's a ton of like XP bonuses around, there's a ton of, you know, more chase slots, different stuff along those lines. But in order to do this, you're going to have to probably reset a lot of runs. I mean, this took me a few hours to kind of understand the process of how to get the most legendaries that I could. As you can see, a lot of these other builds have a ton of blues in them, where this one has absolutely 0 blues. And really the only purple that matters is our Flame Tongue. We would obviously want that legendary. This Corrosive one doesn't really matter. And then the other one was just tech bans. But other than that, everything was legendary on this. So I might do a video showcasing how to just, you know, set up your build for this and, you know, get the most legendaries possible. But if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and hit that subscribe button, as it's greatly appreciated. Until next time, take care.